drop it.
Welcome live, ladies and gentlemen, to the high banks and high-speed multi-corner track known as Watkins Glen International as we count down the green here for the Moonshiners Racing League in their OB Builders Cup Series. Tonight's running of the Victory Designs 200 at the Glen. My name is DJ Lyon. I am joined alongside my co-host tonight, Jeremy Miller. Jeremy, it's good to be here with you tonight as we round out the regular season for the Moonshiners Racing League with only a few more races left, Richmond and Daytona. We're just getting to the point where we're going to start some playoff racing. What are your thoughts here tonight as we tackle this tough but fun racetrack known as Watkins Glen?
Yeah, this is a very difficult track for a lot of drivers, but there is a select few that are going to love this high-speed road racing. Not very technical, but very important to keep momentum up for the whole track, and I think the playoff racing really does start here. These final 3 races of the regular season to get that grid set are just as important as the 10 races in the playoffs.
As we're looking now at the Google image view here, the Google Earth view of Watkins Glen, you see the boot. We're not running that tonight, but we are running the regular course, 8 turns or, 10, 11, however you want to view it. It depends on who you talk to, but that's the track we're going to be at here tonight. 2.454 miles and a lot of high-speed action as you get a look at the front stretch here as we get ready to wrap up qualifying here in the next couple of minutes. Jeremy, the point standings and the playoff standings are getting down to the nitty-gritty. There's a 4-point buffer between Gavin Ruff and Aaron Matthews, and then you got Johnny Shade, Ryan Huff, and Nick King, 140 points out. It's getting time to see if one of these drivers can possibly win and get in or gather up enough points to get into the playoffs here over the next 3 races.
Yeah, Ruff, Taylor, Matthews, all probably grinding their teeth over these next several races. Matthews obviously the one on the outside looking in. Taylor, though, we saw some great speed out of him at Sonoma so far from what we've been seeing here so far tonight. He's got some pretty good speed again. He's looking to make that gap even bigger to the cutoff and maybe leave that race just between the 14 and the 5.
You see all the drivers on the left side of the screen with the victories, with the checkered flags next to their name. They are locked in. Everybody on the right side so far has been in with points, and then you get down to the cutoff on 17th where have the points needed to break into that top 16. If any of those drivers 17th down to 20th do win, they will automatically lock themselves in. That is a whole lot easier than playing the points game, especially with Daytona being the final race of the season here in a couple of weeks. Looking at the schedule right now, you can see 3rd row over all the way near the bottom. We are at Watkins Glen tonight, and then we have Richmond and Daytona to round out the regular season on August 27th. And then, Jeremy, we start the round of 16 at Darlington. That's going to be crazy, especially at a track like that. That's going to be on September 3rd. So we have a couple of races left to go before we get to the Lady in Black. That should be a good opening night race.
Yeah, absolutely a crown jewel to start the playoffs. A track very difficult to tame for all the drivers. Going to be a lot more about racing the racetrack than your competitors there. But, as you said, next few weeks are going to get pretty crazy. Short track racing at Richmond, road course night, and then Daytona. There's no way to know what's going to happen there.
And, of course, we'd be remiss if we did not mention passing of one of our drivers here over the past couple of weeks, Jamison Middlemiss, who was one of the drivers for the Moonshiners Racing League, a staple in the sim racing community. Jamison tragically passed a few weeks ago, and we send our thoughts and prayers out to his family and friends and everybody that knew Jamison. We're going to have a more appropriate in memoriam for him at Daytona, one of his favorite tracks, in a couple of weeks. And we're going to talk to some drivers tonight during interviews and, get their thoughts and any type of cool memories they've had with Jamison going on. So Jamison Middlemiss will be missed here tonight. And we're running the rest of the season for him with a silent lap at lap number 16. Got about 2 minutes left now before qualifying ends. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back. You're watching the Moonshiners Racing League and the Obi Builders Cup Series. Stay tuned.
Drop it.
And welcome back live to Watkins Glen International here in the Finger Lakes region of New York. Drivers are now going to the racetrack, and we're going to go ahead and get you your starting grid here tonight. Kind of a small field as we're used to seeing here for Moonshiners. Used to seeing 30-plus cars, but we do have a decent-sized field here tonight for. So, as we go ahead and get the grid up on the screen, on the pole here tonight. And I apologize about the paint schemes not showing up. That is strange, as we know, a program called Trading Paints, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We'll go ahead and get those refreshed. But on the poll here tonight, the All About Sheet Metal Pull Award goes to Alex Coffey with a time of 1 minute 10 seconds. On the front row alongside him is Tim Wortman Jr. Inside of row number 2, Jeffrey Taylor in the number 9, and his outside, Barry Sanders in the 81. Inside of row number 3, the number 32 of Matt Cox, and to his outside, the Simrat Market Machine of Shane Wyatt. 7th position goes to Sean Rogers, and to his outside, the Precision Dig Machine, the number 19 of Corey Moore. Rolling off in the 9th position, Paul Gallimore, and to his outside, rounding out row number 5, is Chris Davis.
First driver to miss the top 10 in qualifying tonight, Nigel Christensen in 20, lining up alongside Nick King in 12. He's one of the drivers outside looking in, see if he can steal a win tonight. Starting 13th and 14th, the last two drivers to post times are Blaine Wilson and Caden Norfrey. Rolling off 15th tonight, the first car out of time is Brandon Bikey. Joining him, Kenny Coppola in the 77. 17th place starter is going to be Aaron Matthews in the 5, and Kevin Ruff in the 14 starts 18th. Those are two of the drivers right there on the cutoff. And rounding out the top 20 tonight are going to be Tim Harper and Warren Young.
Inside of row number 11, that's going to be the number 88 of Kyle Holden, and his outside, the 45 of Johnny Shade. As you saw on the points earlier, Johnny Shade needs a good run or win here tonight. Jose Medina in the 23rd position, and his outside in 24th position, Brian Huff. That's going to round out the field here tonight. Jeremy, let's take a look at the race analysis and see what we got going on.
There we got two stage breaks at lap 20 and 40. That final stage going to be a 42-lap run to the finish. 5 sets of tires. These drivers will not use all of those tonight. Likely just putting tires on 3 times throughout the event. Maybe only 2 for some drivers. We'll see how we play with strategy. But open setups, of course. So we'll see who's got the car set up the best. The twists and turns of Watkins Glen here, and a lot of right turns, so keep that left front cool and don't wear that out.
Absolutely. So Alex Coffey on the pole here tonight, the All About Sheet Metal Pole Award. Going to the number 54. I believe this is his 5th pole so far this season. Really, really fast car, and that number 54 Precision Monster lookalike machine. So he is your All About Sheet Metal Pole Award winner here tonight at Watkins Glen. Jeremy, it's a strong field here tonight. A lot of drivers talk about this road course as kind of a regular, kind of an oval. A lot of the oval drivers seem to really do well here at a track like this as compared to a track like Sonoma or, you know, any other road course. Is that because of the long straightaways and the sweeping corners, or why is that? Why do a lot of oval drivers really seem to do well here?
It's just a less technical racetrack. It's easier to keep up as long as you don't make mistakes. You know, a lot of guys will say Sonoma drives a lot like a short track. This place drives a little more like a super speedway. You ever come run here in a little bit lower powered car like a Miata, it really almost looks like a plate race with how this track drives. So obviously more power here, still some heavy braking zones and turns, but they're just a little more straightforward other than the bus stop, really. The bus stop's the most technical part of this racetrack, and that's where you'll see the men separate themselves from the boys when it comes to road courses.
That's right, the bus stop, a real important part of the racetrack here to get yourself set up for the carousel and then the final run to the start-finish line here. Weather conditions tonight looking pretty good. A lot of these drivers are running official races on this type of temperature of a racetrack. 81 degrees here outside. Track temp's about 108. We are cloudy with a 5-mile-per-hour southwest wind and about 50% humidity, so no chance for any fog here tonight as the drivers now come down and get one to go before the green flag falls here tonight. Jeremy, who's your pick to win here tonight as far as what you can see on the racetrack from practice and qualifying? And you know, you're about a 90% accuracy on picking winners here so far this season, so who do you got?
Yeah, I think Holden, he didn't set a qualifying lap, but I saw some decent long run pace for short little runs he did in practice. Didn't see any long runs out of Coffee. A little more familiar with that car. I don't know how well he's going to hold up on the long runs, and I think the 88 is going to pick his way through traffic and show the strength he's had on road courses all season here tonight.
Kyle Holden definitely be a good pick here tonight. As far as my pick, I would be remiss not to pick Alex Coffey just because of how fast he is on road courses and different type of tracks like this. He did win the pole. He's very fast. He's been having some consistency issues every now and then, but I'm going to go ahead and pick Alex Coffey for the win here tonight. I know the Alex Coffey fans in the chat are just praying that the broadcaster's curse is not a part of the show here tonight. As you see the cars now making their way through the bus stop, you're going to see a lot of air underneath these cars. We got some great camera angles that we're going to be able to show you through that as far as how they come through the bus stop and head into the carousel. Jeremy, any final thoughts before we get going here? What do these drivers have to do to get the win here tonight? Is there going to be a lot of flipping the stages here, as they say?
Yeah, I don't know how important the flipping the stages is going to be here. I just think the skill gap at road courses in the sim versus really makes it less important than it is in the real world. We'll see some drivers do it, but we'll see some opt for points as well. But the biggest thing is just going to be keeping yourself calm, cool, and collected. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get too angry. I know Coffey's got a crew chief in here. Let's hope he doesn't start yelling at him like a certain Ty Gibbs if the car's not running as well as it needs to.
All right. Jeremy Miller, ladies and gentlemen, playing with fire here in the booth tonight, but that's all that matters. And it looks like that Matt Cox is going to be starting on pit road here, so these intervals will change and reset once we get down across the start-finish line. Well, here we go, waiting for the green flag, and we are underway. Alex Coffey leading them down into turn one, but Tim Wortman gets a good start on the outside. They're going to be side by side as they hit turn number one.
Tim got a great launch fair down the front straightaway, kept the side-by-side here up in the Vieses are wrecking there in the background. That's the 23 of Shane Wyatt. He's around. He's going to lose all of his track position to start, but Coffey clears Wortman up through Vieses for the lead.
Coffey's still in the lead. We're going to go ahead and take a look at exactly what happened to Shane Wyatt. He has got himself back. Go ahead and take a RS button boxes replay and see what happened to the 23. You see him right there on the outside, heading down into turn number 1, and just a little bit of contact with Paul Gallimore sends him around, and then King gets into him as well. No real heavy damage on that car. He's going to be okay. Remember, we do have... And he is back running and underway. So Alex Coffey still leading now as they head down into turn number 7, about ready to complete lap number 1. And your first lap leader is going to be Alex Coffey, followed closely behind by Tim Wortman Jr., Jeffrey Taylor, Barry Sanders, and Sean Rogers, your top 5 as they cross the start-finish line.
See Taylor there in the 9 all over the back of the 83 for that second position through the final sector of the track. We'll see how he does up through the S's. Another thing, DJ, that makes this track more akin to an oval than other road courses is dirty air. Very aerodynamically independent for most of these corners, especially this part right here of the S is such a high-speed section. The twisting and bending, when you're in dirty air, it's a lot harder to get your car to rotate like you'd like it to, but on these fresh tires, you can stay a little bit closer to that guy in front of you.
Yeah, you're right. This car is definitely known for having some issues with dirty air as you see him heading down through the bus stop. A lot of drivers being careful now on those corners, trying not to get too much, but as we get going through here throughout the race, you're going to see drivers really taking shots and especially running off the racetrack like that, like Alex Coffey did right there, to get as much speed as possible. Tim Wortman now in a heavy battle behind him with Jeffrey Taylor. And behind them, we do have some battles near the back. Checking out 17th place, Ryan Huff just got around Brandon Bikey to head into the corner. Car number 24 looking strong here tonight. He's already up 7 positions so far. Ryan Huff from 24th to 17th in only 2 laps, and he's making his presence known as we come down to complete yet another lap here at Watkins Glen. Coffey's still your leader. Looking now at Timothy Harper as he gets around Aaron Matthews. Remember, Matthews battling close for those points as well to make it into the final round here before we get to the playoffs. Tim Harper, remember, Jeremy, he was really good at Sonoma until he had that late race restart incident, if you will. So he might be looking for a little bit of redemption here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, Harper's been good at most of the road courses, has had some pretty decent speed, been aggressive at flipping the stages, putting himself in a good spot with track position, but it hasn't always worked out for him. You see up here some smoke. That's the 20 at Nigel Christensen with some issues out of the bus stop, but he's going to get it back going in the carousel here without losing too much. Got to be worried about those tires, though. You slide them like that, they wear really, really quickly, and this is a track with high tire degradation.
Right, let's take a look and see exactly what happened here with Nigel Christensen. Nigel started off the season strong, hasn't been running too good as of late. Looking to rebound here tonight. Just took, it looks like a wrong angle there and got the curb just wrong. He kept it straight and was back out on the racetrack, so not too bad of a save there for Nigel Christensen. Looks like we had a new purple lap, and that is from Alex Coffey. New fastest lap for him as we're back live now watching Christensen go up through turn number 1 and head to the S's. Jeremy, you mentioned that and it looks like Kenny Coppola is getting a black flag there as well, so we'll check into that. But you mentioned earlier the S's about the dirty air. These cars, this is the fastest part on the racetrack as they come out of the top of the S's here. The front end is already really light on these cars, so not only do you have the nature of this next-gen car, which has really bad dirty air going through there, but it's also the fact that the car is already light, so a lot of these drivers might be fighting tight and getting into that outside wall.
Yeah, really easy to get tight. I think one of the biggest corners is what we're looking at right now, the carousel. If you're building tight, you might actually start to feel it more in the carousel than the S's later in a run. It's just such a long, winding corner that if you don't have much front tire to lean on, it's going to get more and more difficult throughout the run. So you really got to take care of the left front here for the right-hand turns. Turn 1, final turn, carousel, and the S's, all very, very difficult if that left front's worn out.
Watching now Sean Rogers into turn number 1. Sean, always a threat at any racetrack you go to, that beast mode performance. Number 44, looking pretty sporty out there tonight as he hunts down Barry Sanders and the Team Arrow number 81 in front of him as they head up through the S's. Right on board with him here, Jeremy, down the straightaway here into the bus stop. Give us some input here on what Sean is doing. Is he running hard? Is he trying to hang tight? What's going on here?
Yeah, I think Sean in his spot right now, top 5, just kind of happy with where he's at. Probably not pushing the car extraordinarily hard, but he's also not just limping around here either. So he's got a bit of a gap back to 6th there. Paul Gallmore's kind of falling off. Top 5 have broken away. Pushing himself really wide off the carousel though, so he's using a bit of tire right there. You gotta be careful coming back across that curve. If you're too aggressive with the throttle right there, you can get yourself really out of shape, but not too deep into the braking zones for the 44. He's just doing a good job taking care of his car, running at a good pace.
Yeah, he is staying right there with Barry Sanders, and you mentioned going too wide right there and coming back onto the racetrack. We saw an incident in the Xfinity race, NASCAR, where Austin Hill got involved with Michael McDowell that involved a huge wreck coming back onto the racetrack here. So even though you go into the corner and you're clear, the driver behind you might not respect that position as what you think they should. So you got to be careful, and not only do you have to take care of yourself, but you have to watch out for the drivers around you as well, and that is the danger of going off of the racetrack here. But again, it's much better than putting grass or a sand trap there. But if you give these drivers any inch of asphalt, they're going to find a way to take it and try to get their performance better based upon that. Jeffrey Taylor in the Beast Mode Performance car trying to get up on the back of Alex Coffey now. He was within a 1/10 of a second, now falling back to about 2, but he is right there, and you see both of these drivers coming off of the racetrack.
We have a wreck in the bus stop.
Big wreck in the bus stop.
Christensen, Tim Harper, there was an absolute gaggle of cars here, DJ. I was keeping an eye on them. Harper couldn't find any way around Christensen, starting to get pressure from behind, and just made a mistake in the bus stop and took himself into 20 out.
All right, let's take a look here and see exactly what happened. You see this gaggle of cars that Jeremy is talking about. Tim Harper, Kyle Holden there. Jeremy's pick running down to the inside. Harper trying to throw a little bit of a block. He does. He throws the block, but it's late. And Nigel Christensen not expecting it, and around they go. So Tim Harper trying to put the block on Kyle Holden, does it late, and that affects Nigel Christensen, and Nigel goes around. Good thing though, Jeremy, a lot of these drivers, no damage whatsoever on their car, maybe just a little bit of cosmetic fender damage, but they are back and...
Yeah, I think Tim was probably looking to flip this first stage based off of what he's done all season. Not necessarily in the cards anymore, lost so much time right there. He's so far behind the leader, I don't think he can safely do so. So you see back up front a little bit further in the field here, back with that battle. There's Holden. Look how much he's already chased down Norfrey. Norfrey was seconds ahead of Holden when that battle was going on, and he's closed that gap really quickly. So Holden was getting a little held up there. Definitely some good pace on the 88, but look at the car behind him. That one started in the pits. Cox has flown through the field.
Yeah, so Matt Cox started in the pits. He qualified 19th, but elected to start through into the pits. He is now up into the 12th position, and or excuse me, he actually qualified 5th, and he did start from the pits, so he started last. He's up now into the 12th position as they're side by side into the final corner, working there. Kevin Ruff to the inside. Kyle Holden now starting to pull a little bit of a gap as they head into turn number 1. The Bears machine looking strong though as he flies it down to the inside, locks up the right front a little bit. He's going to hit the curb, slide up, 56 on the outside, Caden Norfrey, and they're going to go side by side, almost 3 wide now, but Ruff thinks better of that as they hit the S's, and Norfrey way out of line. Not the right line you want to run through there. That's going to cost him about 3 positions as they hit the back straight.
Yeah, that 56 just did not turn whatsoever entering the S's there. He was off the gas, hitting the brakes, slowing way down, and it still wasn't hooking up and turning for him. So that gave several drivers an easy position on him. Saw Cox locking up that right front, though. I think the left front's more important here, but you don't want to wear the right front out either, and he's done that multiple times while he's been working his way through this field, so got to be a little concerned. Still not even halfway through what should be this run on the tires. That right front's been dragged across the asphalt a couple of times. Wyatt coming back forward with some damage on that right or that left rear after his spin earlier. He's made some good progress back into the top 15.
Absolutely. Shane Wyatt, after a spinning lap 1, turn 1, off the nose of the number 11 of Paul Gallimore, worked his way back up into the 15th position. That Simrat market machine now is absolutely flying as he makes his way back up through the field, with the sights set now on the number 1 of Warren Young. Still no changes up front. Alex Coffey leading by about 3/10 of a second, and then there's about a 2-second gap back to Tim Portman Jr. Let's check on another driver here for Dig, the number 19 of Corey Moore. Corey not really known for his road racing ability. He's good enough to make it and be competitive, but he's not necessarily known as a road racing expert. but he's making it look good here tonight. He's currently up 2 positions now into the 6th spot, and he's keeping it clean, Jeremy. No incident points yet. Surprisingly, 9 laps in, hasn't ran off the track once.
Yeah, Moore's done a good job here early. No incident points, definitely notable. Some of the runoffs here while we're paved, still giving you those 1Xs, so he's keeping it well within the confines of the racetrack right now in that 19 car, and that conservative effort's rewarding him well so far, but you see Gallimore and the 11 starting to reel him in a little, so he'll have a battle on his hands pretty soon at the pace they're going.
Absolutely. Gallimore coming back up near the front after that incident with Shane Wyatt early on in the race. Speaking of Shane, he's worked his way around the number 5 of Aaron Matthews. He's now up into the 13th spot as there's a big gaggle of cars behind him. Matthews there, Warren Young and Jose Medina as well. Matthews trying to go in hard to the back bumper of Shane Wyatt, and he pushes up a little bit, but Warren Young cutting him a break as they slide back into line. Still here working lap number 10. The first stage is coming out here at lap number 20. So we're halfway through. Pit road will close prior to the stage ending, so if we're going to see drivers try to flip the stage, you're going to see it here coming up within the next few laps. Let's take a look up front and see how close that gap has come. Alex Coffey, I almost said his crew chief's name there. They're working up front here. Jeffrey Taylor still there. They're running about the same exact times here on the racetrack, and they're looking pretty good as you see that huge gap now up to 3 seconds on the Tim Wortman Jr. machine. Biggest movers so far here, Jeremy. Kyle Holden up 11 spots. Your pick is coming to the front.
Yeah, he's done a decent job so far. Lap time's not quite where I think he'd want them to be in the clean air right now compared to our leaders, but not too far off. But I'll tell you, that 9 car is the fastest car on the track right now. All in the dirty air. The 54 still being able to hang with him right now. He's got a little more speed than Coffey. We'll see if those tires hold on, and that continues as we get deeper and deeper into the run.
Yeah, you can see there on the screen, Taylor about 7/100ths of a second faster that lap time last time around. Those 2 cars fastest on the racetrack right now as they work their way through the carousel onto the back straightaway. This is the closest battle on the field right now. Next closest is going to be that gaggle of Warren Young, Shane Wyatt, Jose Medina. We're about 3 or 4 cars here underneath the blanket looking at that number 1 car. Oh! And Shane Wyatt doing a little bit of off-roading there, Jeremy.
Yeah, a little bit of lockup there for the 5 of Matthews as well. Got passed by Warren Young, and some issues again for the bus stop, but that'll separate those cars out a little bit as we'll take a look at the RS button boxes replay, see what led to this situation for the 23, 5, and 1 car.
See him heading down straight away there into the bus stop, watching the 23. He goes into the corner, gets messed up right there, misses that, goes off-roading, and Aaron Matthews locking up the tires.
Coffey is around.
And Alex Coffey. Jeremy, let's go back live and see exactly what happened.
Top of the S's, the 54 went around. Not sure what led to it, but there goes the lead and a lot more for Alex Coffey.
Check out exactly what happened here. Down into turn number 1, Jeffrey Taylor making the move to the inside. He's going to try to get around Alex Coffey, and they just ran out of room. Contact with the 9 and the 54, and around goes Alex Coffey, and he saves it. Does not hit a thing. Got to back up just a little bit. Very careful. A lot of these cars coming through here right now. Looks like 0 damage on that car. Let's go ahead and get another view of that, Jeremy.
Yeah, the 9 was faster, and I think he was just getting a little impatient trying to get this pass done. I mean, you can see he's just better than the 54 right now, and gets side by side here just barely into the S's, but you're going to see here he misses the bottom of the racetrack by quite a bit and gets into the rear of that 54 and sends him around. Right,
yep, you see Taylor there. He did not have that line that Coffey was expecting. Taylor drifts up a little bit and gets into Alex Coffey, and around goes. No damage, and we're going to have pit stops here coming up with the yellow for the stage. So not the end of the world for the number 54, but that's going to put Jeffrey Taylor back up into the lead, and he's got about a 3-second advantage now over Sean Rogers. Battle continuing on for the 3rd and 4th position. Tim Wortman Jr. and Barry Sanders have made their way up closer to the front of the field, and the battle rages on down the back straightaway.
Yeah, you see right there, but in front of them, Sean Rogers up there in the second position, so he's worked his way through these guys slowly over the course of this run. So 44 looking pretty good on the longer end of things on the tires. He's got quite a bit to go to chase down that 9 car, but Tim Wortman Jr. P3 right now having another good run. He's just quietly been top 5 all season, really. It seems like every week the 83 finds his way into a good position as long as something outside of his control doesn't really affect the race, but hasn't been able to find victory lane yet. Season's closing up. He's going to get some playoff points. It's got to happen soon.
It does, and at the beginning of the season, we saw Tim Wortman Jr. really good at super speedways, big style races like that, where you're going fast and you're drafting. I never really took him for a road racer, but then we saw him at Chicago, we saw him at Sonoma, and he runs really good. So I would say Tim Wortman Jr. probably one of the best all-around ability racers here in iRacing, and especially in Moonshiners Racing League. That number 83 is looking good, and it would definitely be a shame to not see him in the playoffs after what a great season he had. So sending some luck Tim Wortman's way to make sure he can get into the playoffs at the end of the season. But right behind him, Barry Sanders, league owner, not too shabby himself, Jeremy. He's working his way up there, and he won at Chicago, by the way.
He did win at Chicago, got it done there on the city streets. I should say, Tim, I believe, I don't know if he's mathematically locked, but he is all but mathematically locked in, even if we got 3 new winners throughout these next 3 races. So 83 is in pretty good shape on the points, but the wins are important when you get into the playoffs to try to put yourself further through them. But with how good he's running, he can try to finesse his way through even without them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Not trying to jinx Tim at all. As Jeremy said, he's pretty much locked in to the postseason. Just need to get some final races coming through here. But he has been working hard all season. Looking back further in the field here, some of the drivers that are working on some playoffs hopes. The number 45 of Johnny Shade, not working out the way he wants it to. Parked sideways on pit road. I believe the Shade crew is eating ice cream and watching the rest of the race. So Johnny Shade now 11 laps down. Also Kenny Coppola on pit road as well. They are also sharing in the ice cream bonanza. And Nick King has came back out of pit road. He is now 4 laps down in the 24th position, or excuse me, the 21st position, but still running out there at Menards number 12, still making his way around the racetrack. Jose Medina has been running decently well, working there with Brian Huff and Nigel Christensen. Remember, Nigel had that little off-track bonanza. He was able to get back on. He's currently running in the 18th spot. Tim Harper also, after the incident in the bus stop, has made his way back up into the 17th spot, still running really good lap times, just waiting for that stage 1 caution to show so he can get back up there. Jeremy, right now, your biggest mover in the field so far is still Kyle Holden, up 11 positions, and he has caught Alex Coffey and Chris Davis as they head into the bus stop here.
Yeah, he's done a good job closing that gap. He was 7 seconds behind Chris Davis when he took over the position he's currently in, so he's made all that time up on that car. He's been slowly reeling in the 54 of Coffey after he lost all that position with the contact with the 9 of Jeffrey Taylor up there leading the race. So Coffey's still some decent speed in the 54 machine, even with that big slide on the tires. Just gonna have to work to find that track position back.
Working his way to get back up there as you see the battle heating up now. Here comes Kyle Holden, working on Chris Davis. This is for the 9th position. On board here with Kyle Holden. Davis just going to move out of the way and let Kyle go on by. What a classy gentleman move there from League Administrator Chris Davis as he helps everybody out going down into turn 1. And now Kyle Holden going to set his sights on Alex Coffey. Coffey, technically, at the beginning of the run was faster than Kyle Holden, but with that spin, especially sliding like crazy the S's, I believe that the tire degradation has gone critical on the number 54 of Alex Coffey.
Yeah, certainly no help having to lock it up there in the S's and go for that big little slide he had there. So 54 just holding on, trying to get to the end of the stage here. If he's going to flip it, it's going to be this time. We'll see what he decides to do in that 54 machine. Interesting spot to be in, considering where he will shake out here points-wise versus the advantage of the track position he could gain by flipping that stage.
Yeah, so Coffee is locked into the playoffs via multiple wins this season, so he's not necessarily looking for the win. I know he wants to win, but playoff points would definitely mean more to him, but he's going to flip the stage. He's heading in now. So if drivers are going to flip the stage, they need to come in now, and here comes Alex Coffey down pit road.
It's going to be 4 tires and fuel on that 54 machine. This will take him to the end of the second stage if he would like it to, or he could do this once again when it comes time to flip the stage there. It'll be interesting to see what he decides to do, and also we'll be curious to see how he holds on to the slightly older tires on the ensuing restart after that stage. But he's going to make the stop. He's going to go out there and run as slow as he can without getting lapped, DJ.
Yeah, got to save the tires. Caution is coming out here within the next few laps. Does not want to burn the new off the tires. Got to stay on the lead lap, though. You see 4 tires fuel. Tim Harper also coming in as well. Tim is going to flip the stage. This is going to set him up nicely.
Holding in the tire barrier. Hard contact for the 88. Some heavy damage on the right front of that machine. He's struggling to get it back going, too.
See Kyle Holden right there around. Let's take a quick look at flags here tonight. Everything's local except for the stages here. Looking at the number 88 of Kyle Holden. Definitely working his way up through the field rather quickly. And was it the bus stop that got him? It was. Hit the curb just the wrong way and heavy contact into the right side of that car, into the tire barrier. He was able to get it going, but you see not a whole lot of damage on that right side, Jeremy. These Class A next-gen cars here on iRacing are pretty much tanks. That suspension. I do believe Kyle is going to be okay, but he is now down on pit road.
Yeah, and those curves for the bus stop are just so difficult. You got to hit them to make time, but you hit them just wrong. What happened there is exactly what's going to happen. And really happens to even the best of the road racers. You see the 88 coming to the stall for service here. Be interested to see if he's just taking 4 and going back out there, if he's going to try to squeeze in a little damage repair as well. But unfortunate situation there for Holden as he was making great time through the field.
Yeah, and we want to let you know, we want to add a little bit of a correction here about Johnny Shade as to what happened to him. Johnny Shade was, he was a scheduled start and park here tonight for the race. He was just running on a laptop. I'm being told they had an electrical fire at his house on Monday night, and the power is not yet repaired yet. So first of all, glad everyone is okay out of that. And, you know, things can be replaced. People can't. So I'm glad that Johnny and his family are okay, but he was confirmed start and park here tonight. That first stage about ready to wrap up here, Jeremy. Jeffrey Taylor making his way around the track one more time.
And coming through the bus stop here for the final time in the first stage. Vanine's going to get on those curbs. See, he really skips that second curb and third curb, which is what a lot of drivers will do to try to get through there safer. But there is time to be found with hitting those just right usually here. But this 9 car has looked really good so far tonight, DJ, and it's going to be really tough to beat.
Yes, he is. But you can see Sean Rogers now working his way back into the fold. Picked up about a second over the course of the run since that contact with Jeffrey Taylor and Alex Coffey here. As we're coming out of the final turn onto the front stretch, the green and white checker flag is going to be out for Jeffrey Taylor, the winner of stage number 1. And I do believe that the yellow flag will fly once the 10th place driver crosses the start-finish line, and that is going to be Tim Wortman, who surprisingly has fallen back a little bit.
I think he flipped the stages, so I think he pit and is still going to earn stage points here, which is a great situation for that 83 car. He should be staying out when that yellow flies and will be able to restart in the lead as they run. So good strategy play here by the 83, Tim Wortman Jr.
Yeah, really good strategy play to be able to flip the stage and also get stage points. So Tim Wortman Jr., he's going to be coming out of turn number 8 here. And there they go. There is the yellow flag. So that is the end of stage number 1. For stage 1 winner, that is going to be the number 9 of Jeffrey Taylor. With that beast mode performance, that red metallic looking machine. Really great shot of that car here as he heads down. They're going to get all lined up and caught up to the pace car. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here live on Ballin TV. You're watching the Moonshiners Racing League and their coverage of the OB Builders Cup Series. Victory Designs 200 at the Glen. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back live to Watkins Glen International. DJ line with Jeremy Miller here. We're going to go ahead and talk to our Stage 1 winner, and that is Jeffrey Taylor. Go ahead and get connected up here on video. And it looks like Jeremy has caught up with Stage 1 winner Jeffrey Taylor. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Hey Jeffrey, it's Jeremy up in the booth. You got us?
What's up, fellas?
good stage win there. I know you're in a bit of a predicament racing for points and the win here. You feel like you're on the right strategy, taking that stage win and going after them again here in the second stage from a little bit deeper in the field?
I don't think it's really an advantage completely unless you're in the back to be able to flip the stage. Too small a field and tires matter too much. So I'm happy with this strategy at this point.
Yeah, you saw some great speed there in the first stage out of that 9 car, really strong, especially towards the end on the older tires. Some contact with Coffee, though. What happened there up into the S's when you got into it with the 54?
You know, I'll own it if I did, but I felt like it was net code. Y'all may know more. Y'all have a better angle than I do, but somebody jumped into the Discord and said basically it was a racing deal. He said that Coffee may have come down a little bit into me, but I mean, 2 guys racing hard for the lead there. But I just didn't want to do it intentionally and overdrive the corner and wreck him or something like that. You know what I mean? But I'll go back and look at it, and if I owe him an apology, I will.
It looked like some hard racing there. I'm sure that he would feel maybe a little differently than you feel about it, but it's part of the game, obviously. But you've done a great job in the 9 machine, and good luck in this final 2 stages here, and go get them.
Appreciate it, fellas.
And that was Jeffrey Taylor, DJ. We're coming back to the restart. He'll be interesting to watch here. First stage, obviously some great speed, but now he's got some more traffic to work his way back through in that 9 machine.
That's right. Yeah, Jeffrey Taylor, good guy here. So let's reset the top 4. Tim Wortman Jr., Alex Coffey, Sean Rogers, Shane Wyatt. The top running 4 drivers here. Stages have been flipped. We're about ready to start stage number 2. And we're going to run to lap 40 until we have the final stage break. Pace car is off. And we are underway. Down into turn number 1, Coffey did not get the start that he needed to. Wortman's going to go ahead and take the lead. Rogers behind him. Barry Sanders now going to battle with Shane Wyatt and Alex Coffey for that 3rd spot. That car lock up the tires. That was Caden Norfree. Everyone is okay back there as they head up through the S's. Jeremy and down into the bus stop. Tim Wortman Jr., your leader.
Yeah, great restart there on the 83 of Tim Wortman Jr. We said he'd come out with the lead, pick the top, got through turn 1 good. Now here comes down into the bus stop. You'll see he's using all those curves that we've been talking about tonight. Gets himself a little bit of a gap through to 44. Nice wide entry to the carousel, but he doesn't get it quite to the bottom as early as he may have wanted to. It's going to have a 44 Sean Rogers to close that gap a little bit.
Here comes Sean Rogers, and that blue and white number 44 going to be up on the back bumper now as they hit into the penultimate turn here with Alex Coffey behind him, riding ever so closely in that precision number 54. And look who's here to play. That's Shane Wyatt in the 23 after the spin on turn 1, lap 1 off the nose of the number 11. Shane Wyatt now back up into the top 5 as the sun's starting to come out here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, that track time starts to go up. That'll really change things here. Grip levels will change very quickly, especially at a track like this where, it's such a long course, so things can change a lot more on one end than they do on the other. So we might see some things go through some big shifts here. Might see some drivers that maybe didn't have the best cars earlier do a little bit better as the track temps rise.
And also want to give a mention that we are using cameras provided by Whiplash SimCam. Want to thank Andrew and everybody over at Whiplash SimCam for the great shots here tonight. Battle further back in the pack. Christensen has gotten around Medina as he made a hard pass through on the outside through the S's, and looks like Nigel Christensen going to take that 14th spot further up front. Taylor now working on the back bumper of Barry Sanders. That 9 car very, very fast. He's going to shove it down to the inside. Gets a little bit of the curb. Sanders going off the track. Still going to have the preferred groove on the inside. Those left and right turns are going to play havoc here tonight with some of these drivers to get good runs into one of the corners, but doesn't have the setup coming off of the one prior to that. Heading down into turn number 1. New fastest lap on the racetrack set by Alex Coffey in the 3rd spot as he's hunting the front here and trying to get around Sean Rogers.
Yeah, seeing part of what makes it so difficult to pass here there with the 9 of Taylor. He was really struggling to get that moved on Barry Sanders, losing some time battling each other so hard, and you see still there off the back of the screen, they're going out of a Coffee is closing in on these leaders. That was a really fast lap time by Rogers all over to 83, but this is about to be a 3-car battle for the lead here, DJ.
Three-car battle for the lead here as we work our way through the carousel. On board now with the 54 of Alex Coffey. Right in front of him, you see Sean Rogers and Tim Wortman Jr. Rogers able to get a little bit better bite off that corner. Coffey using all of the excess runoff as they hit the back straightaway in a battle for the lead. Here we go. Sean Rogers trying to go to the inside. Shows the nose, pulls back. Tim Wortman still leading as they hit turn number 8, but Sean going to dive it down to the inside. That's going to allow move for Coffey. Coffey going to try to follow. Sean Rogers not able to clear now, side by side as they hit the start-finish line. Give the lead to Sean Rogers in the number 44, but Wortman fighting back on the outside. Coffey goes in way too hot, gets in the back of the 44, sends the 44 and the 82 around, and the 44 spinning sideways, and now they're 3 wide into the S's, with Shane Wyatt taking the lead. We're going to go ahead and get a replay.
Yeah, it was just a mistake there by the 54. No other way to put it. He just wiped the 44 out. Shane Wyatt takes the lead. The benefactor there almost wiped the 83 out as well with the 54 car.
Yep, nothing intentional right there. Coffey just misjudged the braking point and got into the 44, sends the 44 around, and blends almost effortlessly into the safer barriers, or rather the Armco guardrails there outside of turn number 1. No real damage for the number 44. He's back and ready to go, albeit in the 13th position, as Shane Wyatt now is your new leader.
Yeah, this is a good position for the 23 car. Had some issues earlier, got the lead here. Still some damage on that car, but Coffey trying to come back at him now. Jeffrey Taylor did a good job getting through all that, though. He's back up in the 3rd position with the best tires of this bunch.
Yeah, Taylor definitely closing. He goes in hot into turn number 1 on the back of Alex Coffey. Coffey had to slow up a little bit for Shane Wyatt. Looks like something happened with Timothy Harper and Kyle Holden. Any information on that, Jeremy?
Yeah, so Harper wrecked on his own on lap 16 out of turn 1, destroyed the left front of the race car. His night is over. We did have the Holden wreck. It was the one at the bus stop that put him a lap down in the 88.
Right. Yep. So we did see that, but yeah, some heavy damage to the left front of Timothy Harper. His night is done, and Kyle Holden now hoping to stay at least only 1 lap down as he works his way back up after getting damage in that wreck out of the bus stop. Still your leader up front, Shane Wyatt, Alex Coffey, Jeffrey Taylor, Barry Sanders, Tim Wortman Jr. in 5th. And let's take a look at some lap times here as we cross the start-finish line. Last lap around, well, you see Wyatt the last lap, he was the fastest, but now we're going to reset it here as we come across. Wyatt still the fastest, 1 minute 10 second 0.8, and then following close behind them are the rest of these drivers. Throw everyone over a blanket there in turn number 1 as we head through the S's. I do believe that Taylor is going to have the edge here because those tires on that Coffey machine and the Wyatt machine getting pretty worn out now, and then of course you can't count out Barry Sanders behind them, and then here comes Corey Moore again. We mentioned him earlier. Everyone else pretty well separated out through the field. Currently 16 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, just one more piece of housekeeping here. Holden actually 4 laps down, DJ, so he is effectively out of this race as well. Really no hope to come back from that. And unfortunate for him is he had some real speed, which just made that mistake through the bus stop, which put him out of it, but still some great battling for the lead up front. Wyatt has held on a lot better than I expected. I don't think he would tell you road courses are quite his favorite, so really good run right now there in the 23 car.
Yeah, for sure, and you are right, that is 4 laps down. I was looking at the interval, so I apologize about that. 1 lap down from the person in front of him. Shane Wyatt, not known, as you mentioned, to being a road course racer, but he's out here running around, and that number 23 Simrat Market Machine Coffey goes a little bit wide there. Jeffrey Taylor on the back bumper, that 54, trying to bring Barry Sanders along with him as they head up through the S's. Coffey kind of taking it easy now. He's been involved in a couple of incidents here tonight, and just trying to ride it out now for the rest of the event. Working lap number 31. Looking at these positions gained again, it's kind of calmed down just a little bit. Kevin Ruff, Ryan Huff, Aaron Matthews, Jose Medina, Shane Wyatt, some of your biggest movers so far in this race. A lot of incidents, though, have caught out some of these drivers, and it looks like that we might have Caden Norfrey off the track here on the back straightaway.
Yeah, not a fun night so far for the 56 machine. See some heavy left front damage on that car. That's going to make it drive even worse than it already was for him. And got the inside barrier there, got sideways, and caught the outside barrier up on the top of the S's. Just so difficult to get through there. You have to carry so much speed to run a fast lap time, and you barely put it over the edge, and this is what can happen to you as both Armco barriers bite the 56 car here.
Yeah, and you see we mentioned earlier how light the car gets and it pushes off there even without a lot of dirty air, and he hit that right side and shot right across the racetrack as it started pushing tight. And for good measure, we're going to run over the DRS sign as well. So heavy damage for Caden Northray as he gets back. Now being shown in the 16th position, you can see that damage to the left front of the car as he makes his way down onto pit road. Closest battle on the racetrack, again, still Jeffrey Taylor battling with Alex Coffey, battling with Barry Sanders, and your leader still Shane Wyatt. And I know the guys over at Simrat Market are just jumping up and down right now tonight because, well, we forgot to mention the Simrat Market restart zone on the last restart.
Was in on him is now he's lost that clean air advantage.
Yeah, he's definitely lost that clean air advantage, but you can see as the stints are on the screen right now, Coffey has 15 laps on his tires, Taylor only 10. That's the advantage and the disadvantage of flipping the stage. That's going to allow Taylor to have a little bit more rubber on those tires and be able to theoretically run a little bit faster than Alex Coffey as he makes his way down into the final corner. And yeah, he's on the rear bumper of car number 54 now as they hit the front straightaway.
And I will say those caution laps on tires mean more here than they do at any oval, because when you flip the stages and with how quick the yellows are, you really got to push yourself on those yellow laps to catch all the way back up to the pace car and everything. So they'll push them a little bit there. I mean, obviously you're still trying to save them, but definitely a bit more wear than you traditionally would have at an oval.
For sure. I want to apologize there about a little bit of stream freeze that happened while Alex Coffey made the pass for the lead on the outside of Shane Wyatt. And sometimes the YouTube gremlins like to get a hold of us there. Good thing it was only for a short period of time. But battle now still raging on as Jeffrey Taylor making his way up to the back bumper of Alex Coffey. But Coffey proving us wrong, at least for right now, that he's able to stay up there and hold a decent-sized gap. Even though Jeffrey Taylor has about 5 laps newer tires than he does. Looking at Barry Sanders as well. Sanders, no slouch. He's pulled up on the back bumper of Shane Wyatt down into turn number 7, that number 81 Team Aero sponsor machine. Looking good now as he's going to pull Tim Warman Jr. along with him as they set their sights on Shane Wyatt. Battle for third. Going to be heating up here into turn number 1.
Yeah, I will say that clean air doing Coffey a lot of favors right now. Taylor's still just a smidge quicker throughout a lot of the racetrack while fighting through that dirty air, but Coffey able to run a good defensive line. As long as he doesn't slip any tires, it's going to be really hard for that 9 to make that pass, but we're quickly closing in on the end of this stage, DJ. Next time by, will only be 5 to go until that lap 40 mark where we'll throw in another caution, re-rack him one more time, and then go green to the end. But I do want to just real quickly give a shout out to Corey Moore in 6. He's been quiet all night, but that 19 car, P6, this is a great run for him.
It is, and speaking of Corey Moore, let's go on board with him when we come around the racetrack here, Jeremy, next time by, and explain kind of how this racetrack is to some of the fans that maybe don't know exactly the different nuances here of Watkins Glen, you know, and what the drivers have to deal with here. So we'll jump on board with him as he crosses the start-finish line up near the front. Again, Corey Moore running in the 6th position, as now being told that Ryan Huff has parked his car as well. Number 24 being shown out of this race. So we're going to go ahead and jump on roof cam here and give us a ride around Watkins.
Yeah, road racing not really my forte, but this is what I do around here, and I think he's doing pretty similar. Some braking right there at that caution light, about where the 19 hit the brakes. Getting down into that curb, 2nd gear through turn 1. You got to be careful up over this curb. It's a lot bigger of a hump than it looks. Now up through the S's, you see he puts in a 4th gear early. It's what I like to do as well. Keeps the rear a little more settled. Just trying to go and kiss each of these curbs up through here. Now you're wide open down here, down the back straightaway up towards the bus stop. This is the highest speed portion of the track. You're going to start braking right when you get to these signs, and now you just got to death grip that wheel and hold on for dear life as you slam these curbs. Gets through there pretty good. It's really loud, really bumpy. Going to be through the carousel. This corner is so difficult, especially when your car's not handling well, because you just can't do anything. You saw he was just off the gas rolling. There's really no inputs other than your steering wheel, so car's not handling well. It's not going to do anything for you. Final 2 corners of the track, you're going to brake right in this little opening right there. The asphalt to the right. Get to that curb. He overdrove it just a little, missed it. But still pretty good. And then you're just going to brake here as early as you feel like you can. You see, he used the second gear in the final turn, gets some good rotation out of the rear. Some drivers will opt to keep it in third and get a little bit smoother to drive off down the front straightaway.
Thank you, Jeremy. That was on board for a lap around Watkins Glen International with Corey Moore, the number 19 Precision Dig machine, one of the owners and operators of Pay RVA, a great little company out of Virginia. Corey Moore currently running in the 6th spot. Back up front, Jeffrey Taylor again staying right with Alex Coffey as they work their way through the bus stop, as I believe pit road is going to close in here either this time or next time by. I believe next time by, so if anybody's going to flip the stage, they're going to want to do it this time, and it's going to be interesting to see what these 2 drivers do. I think that they're not going to flip the stage. I think they're just going to run it out and see what happens, because not a lot of cars left in this race. The attrition factor has been crazy here tonight at Watkins Glen, but we're coming down 3 laps to go until stage number 2 comes to an end.
Yeah, you see Coffey is staying out this time. Different predicament for Coffey. Last time he flipped it because he lost that track position after contact with the 9. This time around he has it, opting to try to race for this stage win as of now in the 54 machine. He'll have one more opportunity to pit this time by as the leaders. Pit roads will close with 2 to go, but you see the 9 all over him. They had contact earlier racing here for VS's, so I know Coffey will have that in mind, but he does a good job defending for now. Nowhere for Taylor to go just yet, but they have stretched their lead out over the rest of this field while they've been racing each other.
Yeah, this is fast. This is 100%. Both drivers giving it 100% right now into the bus stop, up over 3 seconds, almost 3.5 seconds over the rest of the field. That is Barry Sanders, who has made his way into the 3rd position. Coffey now collecting a little bit of that curb, but Jeffrey Taylor collecting more of it, trying to use that curb to de-wedge the car to get it to turn. Jeremy mentioned earlier how flat that corner was and how hard it is to get that car to be set up perfectly to run all over the racetrack, specifically in that long sweep carousel corner. Coming down now, 2 laps to go in the stage. Jeffrey Taylor all over the back bumper of Alex Coffey. Looking like a couple of drivers in front of them, so lap cars coming down into pit road, trying to put the stage as well. Jeffrey Taylor trying to make the move as they continue to pull away from 3rd place Barry Sanders.
Yeah, I think this pass is more important than just the stage win, DJ. This pass is almost for one of the race to a degree, because it's just so hard to pass here. I feel like you put every one of these in front of each other, they're going to have a real tough time making the pass on the other. Taylor trying to get that done right now. Bigger picture starting in front of that 54 in the final stage, probably just as important to him as that extra point and the stage win right now.
Absolutely on board here. Oh, you see Taylor messed up right there. He got a little too much of that curb, but he's going to get a late apex through the carousel, and it's going to allow him to get a good run off the corner. It still did affect him, though. You see Coffey using every single inch of that asphalt to try to keep the momentum up as much as possible as they hit turn number 7. Taylor driving it in pretty deep here as we're coming down here. I don't think Taylor can do it, but I've been proven wrong before, Jeremy. He uses way too much curb there. Not going to be a good run to try to get Coffey here, at least in that corner.
Yeah, just not quite what he needed there. This will be an interesting test to see what the pace difference is. Well, he's fallen a little off Coffey, so it has less of an impediment on the raw pace for his final laps. We'll see if he closes that gap at all, or if the pace is going away on that 9, and if Coffey continues to pull away. But right now, stage win looking pretty in hand for that 54 machine, barring any mistakes here for the final half of this lap.
Exactly. We're hoping Alex Coffey here he's hoping rather that he can hold it all together here. This is going to be big for Coffey to get that point, as Jeffrey Taylor absolutely full Senate Bud into the bus stop, and he was not able to maintain that. He tried everything he could to get back to that rear bumper, but it did end up costing him about 1/10 of a second. He's going to line up and try it again here as he gets a good run off of the carousel. Coming down, they're going to get the green and white checkered this time by. And it looks like, at least right now, that Alex Coffey in the 54 is going to be able to take the win here in stage number 2. Out of the final corner, onto the front straightaway. Green and white checkered flag is out. Alex Coffey is going to win stage number 2 here at Watkins Glen International. And we're waiting for Matt Cox to make his way to the start-finish line to complete the second stage, and the yellow flag will be out. Great run, great rebound for Alex Coffey, and great moves for Jeffrey Taylor to make his way back up towards the front.
Yeah, good job by them. You see Matt Cox back here in 10th, way out of shape there in the final turn, but he'll hold on to that position just barely over Nigel Christensen. Tim Wortman Jr., Sean Rogers, 13th, 14th, only drivers to flip the stage. They will be first and second when we go green for the final time.
Still waiting for race control to throw the yellow. There it is. Okay, so that does complete stage number 2, and Alex Coffey will be the winner of stage number 2, so 1 playoff point for him, and that's going to help him in the postseason. So with that being said, we're coming down to the finish of tonight's race. The final stage is imminent here at Watkins Glen. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here live on Ballin TV. You're watching the Moonshiners Racing League for their coverage of the OB Builders Cup Series and tonight's running of the Victory Designs 200 at the Glen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Some of the data combiner.
We woke up inside a play, counting down to Judgment Day. One by one they sell our souls, parasitic cannibals. We will take till there's nothing left. Break, now we're seeing red. Burned us once, but never again. Turning slowly into the living dead. there's nothing left.
And welcome back to Watkins Glen here. Pit stops are complete. Coffee's going to be the first one out of pit road. Jeremy, do we have an incident under yellow there?
Yeah, some contact there between Nigel Christensen and Nick King under caution. 20 car doesn't seem to have picked up any substantial damage, but obviously not going to be fun going around under yellow.
Yeah, definitely not. So a little bit of extracurricular activity going on there. We're going to keep an eye on that as they restart right beside each other here. Coming down 38 laps to go here as we cross the line. Pace car making that hard left-hand turn, and we are green again here in the Simrat Market restart zone. Matt Cox taking the lead into turn number 1. Wortman Jr. in second place, battling hard now with Sean Rogers as they head towards the S's.
Yeah, you see Matt Cox here stayed out, no tires. Another thing to mention, Jeffrey Taylor restarting in the 12th position here. He had some issues there under the pit cycle, lost all his track position. But it looks like he may have actually come down to top off, DJ.
Might have. I think he did.
I think he sped. He did speed as well, though, I believe.
A little pit mishap there for Jeffrey Taylor, going to put him back further in the pack now as we see some of these drivers start to make their way through the field, out of the carousel, down on the back straightaway. Looking here at Shane Wyatt, or excuse me, Barry Sanders battling with Shane Wyatt directly behind him, Coffee in front of them, and you see Jeffrey Taylor making the move in the background there around Aaron Matthews. So they got a long time, right? They got 38 laps. They're going to be able to get their way back up there. Can they make it all the way on fuel?
I don't believe they can, but Taylor topped off. Maybe he's going to try that, or maybe he's thinking splash and go at the end. But with so much tire wear, I don't know if that's the best strategy here. We did see on the back, or on the stretch there out of the carousel, Nick King had some issues for a run in the back of the field, so his struggles continue. But up front, they're continuing to be really racy here. See Coffee, first one on tires, coming up there on the 44 and 83. Those two flip the stage. They have fresh tires as well. Oh, really tight there for Sanders in the 81. He got really tight in front of the nose of 23. Tight moment there between those two cars. But Matt Cox, 32, he's going to have to pit very soon, DJ. That driver on the oldest tires on the track.
Yeah, oldest tires on the track, least fuel on the track, and you think about it now, it's almost like if he's trying to undercut these drivers, because there's going to be no more cautions here. So if those drivers do have to pit, and if Matt Cox pits really soon, takes 4 tires, runs faster lap times than these drivers, and they pit, and even though they're going to take a splash and go, he might have an advantage over that on the long run. I don't know. Maybe some big brain moves here coming from the number 32 of Matt Cox.
He must have been saving that entire run, though, because he's tires are doing pretty good right now. You see Tim Wortman going fastest lap right there. Big move by Coffey to be inside of Sean Rogers. These two had heavy contact earlier. Coffey turned that 44 car. I don't think Rogers is going to make this easy on him.
Definitely not going to make it easy. You see some heavy front end damage from Sean Rogers right there on the front of his car. That's going to affect his aerodynamic ability to drive around this racetrack, but he is not, and I repeat, not making it easy for Alex Coffey, especially after their incident there in turn number 1. You see him flying into the bus stop now and around, and Coffey's going to be able to outbrake him and take that spot around Sean Rogers. Sean doing good there to hold on with that front end damage that he has. Looking now at Shane Wyatt, and actually let's go back a little further and check Jeffrey Taylor, as these drivers were kicking up a lot of dust and smoke. And that was actually Sean Rogers who got off track there. Maybe that front end damage is hurting him a little more than we think. Let's take a quick look at that replay, Jeremy.
Yeah, RS Button Boxes replay coming up here. 44 Rogers, I mean, way tight there. Big slide. He had to lock it up not to hit the barrier because he got so loose across the curb after being tight. He was so out wide, nowhere to go. Matt Cox just ran the fastest lap of the race on really old tires. That 32 is pulling something out of his hat here.
Yeah, out of his hat, that's for sure. Definitely down into the corner. Matt Cox taking and extending that lead. Looking here at Jeffrey Taylor working his way through the S's, and he almost makes contact with that Armco barrier. That's going to set up Corey Moore for possibly a run at him down into the bus stop. The heavy blocking there up in front of him. Barry Sanders throwing the block over Shane Wyatt to try to keep him, and Shane Wyatt gets sideways, corrects it into the bus stop, and slams into the inside wall. Off break for the number 23. And a couple other drivers involved as well. So we're going to take another look at the replay here, Jeremy, and see what happened. We're going to go back and check as far back. Sanders through, down the back straightaway.
Yeah, really bad news here for Shane Wyatt. RS Button Boxes replay once again. Bit of a block there from Sanders, but they went in here clear, single file, and Wyatt just got the curb too hard and overcorrected hard into that inside barrier. Almost took out Jeffrey Taylor. I can't believe that 9 missed that. That was close. That
was close. We're going to get another look. We're going to go on board with Jeffrey Taylor here. Look at how close this was as Shane Wyatt ricochets off the inside wall, comes back up and almost hits him. It looks like Jeffrey did get the wall there a little bit. And then right here, oh man, that was close.
Yeah, Taylor had his own issues there through the bus stop, made a mistake of his own, which put him so close to the wrecking 23 car, but he gets through it relatively unscathed. But Taylor had that penalty under the pit cycle under yellow, came down, topped it off, had to start in the back of the field. He's up to 4th, but he is nearly 8 seconds off the lead right now. Taylor not in a great position to have a chance to win this race. And Coffey's on pit road right now.
Yep, Alex Coffey is on pit road. This is a scheduled stop for the number 54. He's going to take 4 tires, a full tank of fuel, and he is going to be good to go to the end of the race. So let's see what happens. He was running in the top 5 at the time of his pit stop, and now he can make it all the way. No more cautions.
He had a spin in turn 1, DJ, which led to this, yeah. So he was in 12th at the start. So he had a series of issues. He was P4 on lap 47 into turn 6, ended up all the way off in the gravel trap with a mistake of his own. Then he went down into turn 1, spun it again, came back and down around and went to pit road that lap after all those issues.
Okay, let's check out the RS Button Boxes replay here and see what happened with Alex Coffey as he heads down into turn number 1. This is the second part of his issues. Oh, he wheel hopped. He did. He wheel hopped, spun around in turn 1, did not hit anybody, and he is around and back on the racetrack. So that was a scheduled stop. A good catch on that. And Alex Coffey now, he can go the rest of the distance. Let's see if he can make up that time. But yeah, just wheel hopped it there into turn number 1. Looking now at Jeffrey Taylor, trying to make his way back up. He's been gaining a little bit of time on Barry Sanders in the 3. In the 3rd position, and then you have Tim Wortman Jr. up here trying to close in on Matt Cox. But Matt, with the old tires and the low fuel, he's been setting some blistering laps out there. He's trying to get as far ahead as these guys as he can for when he has to make his pit stop.
And you could see there on those views between 6 and 7 or 7 and 8 or 10 and 11, whatever you want to call it, a long stretch of gravel being pulled back on the racetrack from the 54 of Coffee when he had that issue over there as well. So that gravel probably was still on the tires when he got down in the turn 1, which may have led to that second spin as well as Wyatt again in the bus stop just went around in the same spot.
Shane Wyatt again going around. Let's take a look at a replay on Shane Wyatt. Third in the bus stop.
Oh, I'm sorry, I may have been a mistake there, DJ. I think I got caught up a little bit back on it, trying to look at what happened to Coffee.
Oh, you did, but you know what? That's cool because we can see right there on that part of the replay, you can see all the... So we're going to take a check at that again, and here is the battle now for the third spot, rather. Jeffrey Taylor trying to get around Barry Sanders, going to go on board here with Jeffrey Taylor as he sets his sights on that number 81 Aero machine down the front straightaway. Sanders is able to get a good run off of the corner, but I do believe it's just a matter of time before Jeffrey Taylor makes his way around and goes ahead and starts reeling in the leaders here with about 30 laps to go. Looking at the last lap speed times, Jeffrey Taylor 10 points. 1 minute 10 second 909. He is the fastest car on the track. Tim Wortman Jr. the fastest car on the track. Jeffrey Taylor is the second fastest car. So Tim Wortman Jr. pulling some speed, and he's starting to close in on Matt Cox just a little bit. But this is the battle on the track right now for the third spot.
I still can't believe the pace the 32 is running right now. I'm like almost sitting here wondering if we missed a pit stop somewhere, but I've gone through and looked, and he really did not make a stop at any point. He just saved tires so well and has great pace right now out there in the clean air. But back here, these two still battling for P3. Taylor trying to recover from the mistakes he made under yellow and running out of time to do it. 30 to go, a long time at a road course, but that gap to the lead is pretty big right now.
Yes, it is. Matt Cox still out in front by about 2.5 seconds. Battle for third, looking good right here. And everybody else just running pretty separated out right now. You got Corey Moore back there about 4 seconds back. Paul Gallimore, Chris Davis, Aaron Matthews, all running pretty well separated from each other. This is the closest battle on the racetrack right here as we take a closer look as they head up through the S's.
Yeah, still working on the 81 right now. Taylor, we've seen Sanders really good defensively earlier, led to that crash for Wyatt. Sanders made a great defensive move, and the 23 made a mistake as a result. Taylor right now still following in behind into the bus stop. Nowhere to go. It's just so difficult to make passes here. Not really anywhere to get it done easily, and if the driver in front of you is good in the right spots, it's nearly impossible to get alongside.
Yeah, and you see Taylor using a bunch of the racetrack out of the carousel there as he's trying to set up and see what he can do with Sanders now. Looking down in turn number 7. Still nothing really going on right there between these two drivers. They're just trying to size each other up as we come down with 30 laps to go here. Not too much time left, but still a long distance here. About 30 minutes left of racing if you want to look at it by time. And that'll put us right at around the 2-hour mark for this event. Matt Cox still leading. He cannot make it all the way on fuel. He is going to have to pit again. And I don't believe that Wortman can make it either. But we'll find out as it looks like Wortman just gained about 0.4 of a second going up through the S's there. If Matt Cox had an issue going up through there, as now he's within 1.5 seconds. That 83 car closing in.
Yeah, doing a good job right now on the 83. Tim Wortman Jr. is closing in quite a bit. Oh, Sanders just wrecked out of the bus stop. This one is live, heavy into the barrier. Oh, he drove across the racetrack in front of some cars coming on too. That could have been really bad for the 81 and those drivers coming in behind. You see damage on the right side of that car. That is going to really hurt the rest of his day.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a peek at exactly what happened to Barry here as we head down into turn number 1, the RS Button Boxes replay. Went a little far back here, but let's get a big view of exactly what happened here. Heading up through the S's. Sanders running, pulling away a little bit as he works his way through the S's down onto the back straightaway.
You saw you had a bit of a gap to Taylor here, so not too much pressure compared to some previous laps for that 81. And big curb, little curb, but too much of it, and you saw the rears were just hopping. Nowhere for Taylor to go, gets into the 81, finishes him off. Nose damage to the 9 as well, did not catch that initially. You saw there Corey Moore, Paul Gallimore coming as Barry Sanders drove across the racetrack. Those two were a little bit further forward. That could have been really disastrous for them. Got to look at that nose, that is damage to the 9. Nose punched in from that right there, hit the corner perfectly square in the dead center of the nose.
Yeah, look at that damage right there. So that's going to be tough. That's going to be real tough right there for Jeffrey Taylor. We'll have to see how that affects him as he makes his way back around the racetrack. Currently up front, the battle for the lead heating up, and that's because Matt Cox is on pit road. Remember, we knew he couldn't make it all the way. This is the pit stop for the leader, and he is coming down, I believe. Jeremy, if I was him, I'd take 4 tires, depending on the amount of fuel he's got to put in. But let's see what he does. That 32 Bears machine making his way to the support of his crew.
Yeah, definitely 4 tires of fuel here on the docket for the 32 of Matt Cox. Pit cycle started a few laps ago with the driver you just saw go purple. Sean Rogers, 3 laps in his tire stint, running the fastest laps on the racetrack. He forced this call to the 32 to pit now, because if he didn't, he wasn't going to have the lead when he came back out. 4 tires and away for the 32 of Matt Cox.
Matt Cox down and away. You can see Paul Gallimore there in the number 11, the Beast Mode Performance Machine. He was involved in an incident earlier on lap number 1. But he's able to get down and go away. There's Kyle Holden as well. Kyle involved in an accident. He is currently 3 laps down, but sticking with it here, currently running in the 15th position. So after all that goes through, that puts Tim Wortman Jr. in the lead here with 27 laps to go. Can Wortman make it all the way? No one knows. We don't think he can. He's not really saving that much. But again, we could be surprised. Taylor now on pit road, Jeremy.
Yeah, big stop here for Taylor. He'll get to see just how much damage that nose has, as he probably doesn't know inside that race car unless he has somebody outside telling him. So that's going to be important information for him, so he knows what to expect out of how that's affecting his pace. Wortman now, I don't think he can make it on fuel. He's just taking advantage of the clean racetrack right now, running the best lap times he can. Going to get those tires later and try to make the good tires work for him a little bit more on the back end of the run. That nose damage is really heavy on that 9 car, though. You can see the splitters pushed up, grills pushed in, radiator's not going to be exposed, not something the game's capable of doing, but still heavy damage on the 9 car there. No repairs, which is the right call at this stage in the race with no yellows coming for the rest of the way. But I don't think he's going to have as competitive of a pace as he had earlier.
Yeah, if there was a yellow and he was able to repair that, he could get that damage repaired and be back out on the track and be up to at least 99% full speed, but it was the right call not to take the damage repair because he was going to lose too much time. And so you see him get sideways there into the S's there as they hit the straightaway coming up to the bus stop. Tim Wortman Jr. still leading, Corey Moore in second. League admin Chris Davis. I always got to give Chris a shout out because that I just love his paint job. I can't get over how good the red looks with the chrome. I think this is a fabulous paint job, and I don't know, I love it. So Chris Davis running in the 3rd position, Gavin Ruff running in 4th, and look at Jose Medina coming down pit road now. He's running in 5th. Got to give a shout out to Jose Medina, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet on the sim racing service. This dude just cares about everybody, sometimes at the detriment to himself. What a great guy Jose Medina is, as you see Matt Cox with a 1:09.737. The fastest lap so far here tonight. Matt Cox in the number 32 absolutely flying around this racetrack as we're watching Jose Medina on pit road right now. But Jeremy, I think the field is in trouble because Matt Cox has put the hammer down and he is trying to bust through this wall here.
Yeah, so he was just toying with us all night, DJ, starting on pit road, running relatively meh lap times throughout the first 2 stages, and all of a sudden in the final stage, the 32 found the nitrous oxide. He's been the fastest car on the racetrack, even when he was on the oldest tires, and now on the freshest tires. I mean, we haven't seen anybody close to that lap time tonight, so 32 is flying, and I just don't even see anybody having a chance to beat him if that pace maintains the way it is. You see Shane Wyatt with some damage there in front of him. He'll be pitting this time, as he just told. Matt Cox behind him, which will force the 32 to run the top for this corner, but I don't think that's going to affect him too much. He's going going to still keep on powering through. But right now, already back up to P5 and closing on some drivers in front of him. We were talking about Chris Davis earlier, DJ. That's a driver who has made fuel mileage work all season long,
Yeah.
so somebody who's going to do it was him, but it's not going to matter because Cox is going to catch him pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's right. And you're looking at Shane White come down pit road. That number 23 car has been through, well, basically hell here tonight. He's spun out 3 times in the bus stop, getting the curbs a little too hard. Can't knock him for trying, though. He gives it 100% on the track all the time. Shane, another great guy on the service. Really fierce competitor, but a really good friend to a lot of people. Shane Wyatt on his way out of pit road after getting service. He's going to be good to go towards the end of the race. Matt Cox now being shown in the 5th spot. He's about 12 seconds behind 4th place Kevin Ruff, and that puts him about roughly 40 to 45 seconds behind Tim Wortman Jr. as you see him there now still running on these old tires. Going to go ahead and take a look at the stints, see how long everyone's been out there. 21 laps for Tim Wortman Jr., and then you have Moore, Davis, and Ruff 17, and then Cox there with 4. He's going to be the first driver out on new tires. Jeffrey Taylor is the second driver out on new tires, but he is almost 12 seconds behind Matt Cox, and not looking like it's going to be able to be done here tonight for Jeffrey Taylor. So, Tim Wortman Jr., Jeremy, when does he pit? Does he pit? Does he have some fuel stashed in those roll bars like some of these old school NASCAR style cars did to get that extra fuel mileage? I don't think so, but he's not giving up yet. He's not saving. He's not pushing. He's just there, and he's having a good time.
Yeah, Wortman not going to be able to make it. Definitely has to make one more stop. Davis has been saving fuel in that 74. I was just listening on him. But this lap, he about wrecked at the top of the S's, got really sideways, made a save. You see way wide here. Tires are gone in that 74 machine. I don't think even if he can make it, it's going to matter at this point. The lap times are just way off right now for the 74. Chris Davis trying to make the strategy call work. I mean, you see Cox, he was 12 seconds behind like 2 laps ago. He's already only 5 back.
Yeah, so even with the fuel-saving strategy for Chris Davis, it's not going to result in a win here tonight, but it could result in a podium finish or possibly a top 5, which would be good. A good point stay for car number 74. Let's actually go on board with him and see if we can hear him clutch coasting at all as they head down the backstretch, or if he's short shifting at all. Right now, currently running in the 4th spot. Don't really see any short shifting, and he's lifting and shifting normally going into the corner. I think he knows that his fuel mileage, or at least his tires, are cooked right now, and he might just be trying to run it out till the absolute limit as he works his way through the carousel. I mean, he is going a little iffy through there as far as not getting back on the throttle too hard. So, but I would look for Wortman, Cox, Moore, Ruff, all these guys to hit pit road here within the next probably 5 laps. As you see Moore now in. Yep, Moore is in.
The fuel saving for Davis had been intermittent, and I do think he may have abandoned it just that lap, because the previous lap he ran 8 seconds off the pace with some mistakes, and it just kind of became pointless for that driver to continue on that strategy. So stays out another lap in the 74, but I'm expecting him to be to pit road soon, as he has just fallen off the pace considerably right now with his tires.
Yes, he has. You see Corey Moore in there as well. I also want to give a shout out to everybody in chat here tonight watching. Thank you for tuning in to Ball and Cat Productions as our coverage continues for the Moonshiners Racing League and the OP Builders Cup Series. Brandon Blakey in the chat, Shane Davis in the chat. We have obviously Kelly Coffey. We got Mr. Jordan Booth in the chat, pulling for Mr. Wayne Word Shite there in the car number 23. A lot of people in the chat here tonight, and we appreciate all of you tuning in to watch this race. Tim Wortman Jr. now, Jeremy, on pit road. The stretch has gone now. He did have a really big lead, so let's see how many tires he takes, if he does take tires, and where he's going to come back out on the track.
Yeah, looking like 4 tires and fuel here for the 83 of Wortman. We'll see where he cycles out relative to those that were around him at the time. I think Cox is going to have a pretty significant lead over this 83. It's just been so much faster with the pressure tires the last several laps. But the 9 of Jeffrey Taylor, 83, may have a chance to come out in front of him.
looking right now, it is going to be 4 tires and fuel. Ruff has got around him. Davis has got around him. Cox now just goes around him. And he might be able to get out in front of Taylor here. We're watching. It's going to be close. And I do believe, yes. So Tim Warman is going to be able to come out in front of Jeffrey Taylor. And he is not that far. Well, about 9 seconds. But I guess in road course terms, it's not that far behind Matt Cox. So here's the deal. Matt Cox, obviously the fastest car here tonight. Blistering pace. Does Wortman, who is not that far off of Cox, be able to catch him with these newer tires within the next 20 laps as now Matt Cox makes his way around Chris Davis?
It's too big of a gap, in my opinion, at this point for that to close in. Cox has just been unrelenting this final stage right now in the 32 machine. Really came out of nowhere. He was just running around 10th, started in the pits the entire race, and really, as I said, was just toying with us. I mean, he's just come out of nowhere to be this quick in this final stage. Stayed on older tires, drove away from the field, and on fresh tires, he's just been the fastest car on the racetrack every lap.
Yeah, I think that Chris Davis and Kevin Ruff are trying to go for a podium or a top 3 here, or maybe Kevin Ruff is going to wait until Matt Cox catches him before he comes down pit road for his splash of fuel. We're going to see, because he is really far out. I think if Kevin Ruff waits until Matt Cox gets to him and passes him, then he comes down pit road, gets a splash only, I think Kevin Ruff could come out and still be in the top 5.
It'd be a bit of a stretch with the length of pit road here, looking at those gaps. If a splash fuel would keep them there, especially because those gaps are going to continue to close lap by lap to the cars with fresher tires. But a top 10 could be on the table for F14, but even then, I don't know when he's going to have to pit for fuel if he's going to do a splash. I think he's going to want 4 tires, and just doesn't really have the race car. He's pitting this time, DJ, as he just called, so I think with 19 to go, it's going to be 4 tires and fuel on the 14.
Yep, I do believe you are correct. With that many laps to go, he's probably most likely going to be taking 4 tires as he makes his way down pit road. Matt Cox passes him and put the number 32 into the lead. Davis going around him now. Wortman's going to be able to get around him. Now, again, if he does take 4 tires, which I believe he will, he's going to have that fresher rubber, and he might be able to get back up there and pass some of these drivers. We're going to see Taylor now around him for 4th. He might be able to come out in front of Matthews here, possibly even Sean Rogers. Let's see, he makes his way down pit road, 4 tires and fuel. I love those red rims. Those red rims are so cool. And Kevin Ruff going to come out, it looks like, yes, about 1 second or 2 seconds ahead of Aaron Matthews. So Kevin Ruff, 4 tires and fuel. He's down and away and going to be in the 9th position. Let's go ahead and reset the field here and show you the stints. Matt Cox, the leader, 9 laps on his tires. Davis still saving fuel, 22 laps now on his tires. Wortman, 2 laps. That's going to be the one to watch. Can Wortman catch up to Matt Cox with only 18 laps to go? And there is the rest of your top 10. Pretty much everyone has come down pit road now except for Davis and Nigel Christensen to get the 4 tires and fuel. Jeremy, it's going to be a fun run to the finish here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun run here to the end. We'll see if the 83 of Wortman has anything. He's way wide there for him. That may even be a slowdown, DJ. He got so wide, so we'll see how that works out. Sometimes those kind of just serve themselves at these road courses. You don't really have to do anything to give that time up. Notice there that Coffey had made a second stop here under this stage because his stint said 1, so some more issues for the 54 along the way. His race has gone from a chance to win to absolutely terrible in this final stage, so unfortunate day for the 54 of Coffey, but he's done that a few times on road courses this year, DJ. Really, really good speed and just not able to put the execution together.
Yep, and I have a funny feeling that I'm going to be blamed for that at the end of the race for picking him to win here tonight. So we'll see how that goes. But if you look at the last lap speeds on the ticker right now, you see Wortman was faster than Matt Cox that last time by. Is it enough? No, not right now with the distance that they have to go. But will that gap continue to shrink as Matt Cox makes his way down? And he did just turn a 1:11.086. Wortman 1:11.9, so Cox was faster that time by. That's not going to get it done. for Tim Wortman. Wortman probably, with this pace, only going to be able to get up into that second spot, and it looks like it's Matt Cox's race to lose here. Battle raging on the racetrack right now. Barry Sanders, Paul Gallimore, this is for 6th and 7th. These drivers have been going at it mostly all race. Sanders had a little bit of issue there on pit road. He was able to, well, he was running up near the front most of the night within the top 5, now being shown back in the 7th position, but he's fighting for that 6th spot as he gets a little tight there. And look behind him, here comes Sean Rogers, and also another shout out to Corey Moore, running fast laps right now, faster than Taylor, and he's up into the 5th spot. So not a bad there. They call him torque. He's definitely got enough torque in that car tonight to get around this racetrack, Jeremy, and he's probably going to get into at least the 4th position.
Just a great run there in the 19 for him. Corey Moore having one of the best days I think I've seen out of him on a road course this season. This battle, though, right now still raging on. 81 of Sanders was able to wreck and still be in here battling for 6, potentially a top 5 with Davis just pitting up there in front of them. So not the best situation for Sanders considering he had that crash, but still in a spot to get a good finish.
Still in a spot, and you did see that Davis is down on pit road. Okay, here comes Barry Sanders. He's going to make his way down to the inside. He didn't have position, but he did kind of force Gallimore to think, oh, Barry, what are you doing, brother? Oh, hang on to it. Almost taking out the track worker, got onto the curbs, and now Barry Sanders still trying to wreck through the beginning of the S's, and he does save it. Tough break for the number 81. He had a great run going, just got too much onto that curbing there, Jeremy, and that's most likely a shock issue. Where he's got too much rebound or too little compression, and just upset the car right there, getting onto that curbing. Tough break for him, but that's going to move Rogers up into the 6th spot.
Yeah, Barry Sanders no longer racing for a top 5 as we're running right now. Sorry to chuckle there, but Jose Medina just said something really funny over driver radio. But that was a battle going all the way for Beaconsfield with the 48 and the 20 of Christensen. Barry Sanders, P7, made a great save there, though. DJ didn't wreck the race car, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. He saved that thing for about a country mile heading into the S's right there. Big shout out to Barry Sanders for being able to hold on to that. So after Davis pits, that moves Wortman up into 2nd, Jeffrey Taylor into 3rd, Corey Moore into 4th, Paul Gallimore, hey man, up into the 5th spot. What a run for the number 11. And Sean Rogers, he's going to try to take that top 5 spot away. Sean, always been fast since day 1 here at Moonshiners, has had some rough luck as of late. Trying to rebound here late in this race, going to be trying to get into that top 5 position. This is the closest battle on the racetrack right now. We're going to be cycling through the intervals here between the drivers and the last lap fastest times, just so you guys can see exactly what is going on. Wortman that last time by 1.5 tenths faster than Matt Cox, as Cox now comes across the start-finish line, sets another lap. We're waiting on Wortman to go across there. Yes, Wortman about the same speed as before, now about a half a second a lap faster than Matt Cox. Cox has burned the goodness off of those tires. Here comes Rogers trying to look to the inside, nothing doing right there. 13 laps to go, and Tim Wortman Jr. 9 seconds behind Matt Cox. If he gains a half a second this time for the next 10 laps or so, Jeremy, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Wortman has to keep up on this pace, and I believe he might be able to get there if he can keep up this pace.
It's still going to be really tough for him to get there, just not quite making up the ground that he maybe needs to in the 83. Going to need to find a bit more. That lap previously, as you saw, was a bit quicker, but this lap looks like it's trending a bit slower for the 83. Wortman now back to 9 seconds behind our leader, so I just don't see it in the cards right now for Tim Wortman Jr. unless Matt Cox comes across some issues.
Yeah, I just want to mention, I had a couple people send me a direct message asking me, who was that car on the thumbnail for the race here tonight? That was actually Trace McDowell, the son of Michael McDowell. He raced with us at Watkins Glen about a week or so ago, ended up winning that race, and had a nice shot of his car going through the bus stop. So want to give him a shout out for allowing us to use that picture for tonight. It just fit well here, especially since a lot of the wrecks here tonight have happened in the bus stop. So those curbs, Jeremy, you mentioned earlier in the race, you got to be able to use them, but you got to use them correctly. And if you hit them wrong, you can go flying in the air and upset your car, as we've seen a lot here tonight. But Wortman's still closing. It looks like he's faster on the back end of the racetrack there, going through turns 1 up through the S's and into the bus stop. But it looks like that Cox is a little bit quicker as they head through the carousel, turn 7 and turn 8. It's still going to be close. We have 12 laps left to go, and Wortman is still closing ever so slightly. Is it enough? I don't know, but we're going to find out here shortly.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more ground being made this time around by Tim Wortman Jr. He'll have it down closer to 8 seconds right now to the lead, but with 12 to go, he's going to start needing close to a second a lap as we get closer and closer to the end, and it's just not trending in that direction for him. Faster every time right now, good progress, but Cox has just played the strategy perfectly, gotten himself so far ahead that I think the raw pace he had earlier on in the stage is going to be enough to take home the win.
I think so too. You see still half a second a lap faster for Tim Wortman Jr. that last time by, still running, the only driver on the track running in the 110s. You see, for whatever reason, iRacing throwing up that Kevin Ruff ran a 58-second lap. That's insane. Okay, now it fixed it. So we were going to have to tech that number 14 car 58 seconds. Whew, that's quick, Jeremy.
Coffee down pit road again right now. Not quite sure what's going on with the 54s. He just drove through there that time, so even more time lost for V54 Coffee. Now a lap down to our leader. So his day has continued to unravel here. Had some really good speed. I think he was probably the car to beat for quite a while, but just not going his way.
Yeah, not going his way, but remember, he is locked into the field here tonight, or excuse me, not locked into the field, but he is locked into the playoffs at the end of the race, at the end of the season. So nothing what am I trying to say?
Catastrophic.
Nothing catastrophic. I can't English. Thank you, Jeremy. Nothing catastrophic going to happen here for the playoffs. Coffee now just trying to make his required amount of races as he works his way through the carousel. But again, Tim Wortman Jr. closing up on Matt Cox, but you see the lead still very much looking insurmountable to that, but it's getting closer every single lap. Can the Bears machine make Mike Ditka proud and win here in Watkins Glen? We're going to find out about 9.5 laps to go.
I'll tell you, Matt Cox doesn't like what he's seeing a couple seconds up the road right now. There's a little gaggle of cars that have been battling each other really hard. Nigel Christensen, Jose Medina, I think the 18 may have just been caught up in there as well, even though he's not on the same lap as those guys. So some stuff going on in front of him. Christensen actually pits this time, so he won't have to catch them battling. We'll just catch the cars individually, but was looking a little hairy for the bus stop. We saw a puff of smoke last time that came from those cars in front of Cox, but here's a little battle on the racetrack. Shane Wyatt, Aaron Matthews there behind Chris Davis. These drivers going at it right now, and you know, these spots all for a position.
Yep, you see Shane Wyatt back through while he's trying to tame his nemesis right now, and that is the bus stop, and he does well right there. Going to the inside of Aaron Matthews. Shane Wyatt now back into the top 10 here, working his way back up through the field. A little loose there off the carousel. He's really trying hard to get back up there. I know that the Simrat Market guys, definitely, Shane, they're not pleased with how the run has gone here tonight. I know Shane's not pleased with himself. Shane, a really good driver, able to make his way up through the field and be in contention to win a lot of races. Remember his run at Pocono where he almost had that win. So Shane not going to be happy with the finish here tonight, but he's going to bounce back. I believe next week they go to Richmond, and he's going to be able to go there and have a good time. So Shane Wyatt, loving the short tracks. He's going to be in contention next week at Richmond, so watch out for him there. Still looking back up near the front, Matt Cox now. As you mentioned earlier, Jeremy, you see these drivers battling for a position in front of them. That is the only thing that could hurt Matt Cox right now, as you see Tim Wortman Jr. closing in even more. Gained about 0.4 of a second there that time in turn number 1, but he lost a little bit of it going up through the S's. But Matt Cox will catch lap traffic. He's got to be real careful to get through there.
Yeah, those intervals will fluctuate through the course of a lap here, just the nature of a road course, with the drivers being at different portions of the track with different speeds. You'll see a lot of that moving around. Best place to judge at each lap is just look at what it is when they reach the start-finish line. That's where you can truly see the gain has been made or lost. But that said, Tim Wortman Jr. is definitely clawed in a little bit on that gap, but coming to 7 to go, over 7 seconds behind, he's just not going to make up that much time with Matt Cox unless something happens to the 32.
Looking out the roof of the 32 right now, something could happen. He's got to be careful up here. Not because these drivers are bad or in the way or anything like that, but because Matt Cox just a little bit faster, so he's going to be able to get up there and try to pass them. Well, they're trying to pass each other for position. So a racing deal is not out of the question here as they work their way through the S's underneath the iRacing blimp up through the fastest part of the racetrack right here. When I first went to Watkins Glen a few years back, one of the track attendants said, if you want to sit anywhere or go anywhere, go to the top of the S's. They're full throttle. It sounds amazing, and he did not disappoint in that advice. That is one of the best places to sit here at Watkins Glen. As you see Cox close in on the back, and this is going to slow him up, Jeremy. Maybe not by a lot, but enough as he works his way through there. You see now drivers giving way, being very respectful of the leader here going through the carousel.
Yeah, very courteous move from Medina there in the 48. He'll go a lap down, 12th position though, good run for him. Next on the list here is Blaine Wilson in the 18. Wilson, some fresher tires than Medina. 5 laps down though, has nothing in the race for it all, which should work in Cox's benefit here.
Absolutely. See that gap closing ever so slightly. Not going to be enough though right now. 6 laps to go here at Watkins Glen. The Bears machine working his way into turn number 1 behind Blaine Wilson, the number 18. Blaine, one of the best painters on iRacing, best picture takers. If you've ever seen a Blaine Wilson paint job and a picture render of any of his work, it just blows you away how awesome that looks. Not running as fast as he'd want to here tonight, but definitely one of the best, if not the best looking cars on the track here, always for Blaine Wilson. Down into the bus stop, you see Cox using those curbs very gently as he works his way through. Wortman Jr. now within 7.3 seconds, so the gap is closing, not closing fast enough though. Out of the carousel, down the back straightaway. Wortman trying to close, Cox trying to get around Blaine Wilson, goes to the inside. Blaine going to give him a lot of room. Down to the inside, Cox going to take that spot. Wilson falls in behind him. Goes a little wide there. Blaine backs up, lets him have the spot, and that will pretty much do it as far as lap traffic goes. Clear track ahead of Matt Cox as we get 5 laps to go here.
Yeah, the next car that he would catch right out of the Aaron Matthews in the 5, but about 10 to 11 seconds behind that 5 car right now, so unlikely to be a factor before the end of the straight. Matt Cox, 5 to go, just needs to execute, hit all his marks. But it's Watkins Glen, it's a road course. Drivers make mistakes. It's possible. You saw last time through a bus stop, he got a little bit more curve than he's been getting. Car was bouncing a little. He does that just a little too aggressively. You can see him spin himself like we've seen a bunch of drivers do earlier. Could wheel hop into turn 1. Look at Jeff Gordon in 2007. He lost the race when he had the lead. No pressure really from Tony Stewart behind him. Just wheel hopped into 1, went around. It's not over for Cox or Wortman right now.
It's not, and you see now 0.5 of a second up from the 4 that he's really turning faster. Tim Wortman Jr. closing in fast. It's almost under 7 seconds now. It started with 10 seconds back after pit road. You see Wortman coming into frame up there off of the carousel, coming to 4 to go. Cox now going to be able to set his sights on that slower vehicle of Aaron Matthews on the front straightaway. Matthews going to take it down pit road. That's good news for Cox now. Clean and green ahead of him, 4 laps to go, but it is not over yet. He needs to have 4 good laps, make his way around here as Christensen now moves ahead of Coffey. Move Christensen up into the 12th spot. You're not missing anything in the back of the track right now. Everybody is pretty much separated out. Second place, 7 seconds back, and then 8 seconds back to 3rd, 6 seconds back to 4th, and then 7 seconds back to 5th. Nobody is near anybody right now, so we're keeping our eye on the front of the pack here to make sure and see if anything does happen with that number 32. He's taking it very carefully through that bus stop and down into the carousel ever so slightly. He can afford to give up a little bit of time here to make sure he gets home safe.
Yeah, and at this point, Matt Cox doing just that. He's intelligently just not pushing the race car. He is letting it do what it needs to do. You see that gap closing more and more every lap. That's the 32 backing out of it, knowing he has such a big lead. There's no risk to be taken here. He has nothing to gain. He's just going to ease this car to the finish at this point.
Matt Cox already planning his victory lane celebration, being told that he is not allowed to stand on the roof of the car here tonight at Watkins Glen. So probably going to have some burnouts here on the front straightaway if he can, and most likely will, bring it home here tonight. Now 6.5 seconds ahead of second place Tim Wortman Jr. Taylor, good recovery for him after getting involved in an incident and having some front end damage after contact with Shane Wyatt in the bus stop. He's back up into third, Corey Moore into fourth, and Sean Rogers into fifth. Everybody else still running out there on the track. No battles whatsoever going on right now, so we're keeping an eye on Cox now, coming to get 2 to go this next time by. Lead has stabilized pretty much. Well, now he lost a lot of time there through the carousel, about 0.3 of a second. It's starting to get closer, but the time is running out. All he has to do is just coast pretty much from here on out. Like you said, Jeremy, let the car take him where he wants to go. Don't force anything. Don't do anything that could upset that car as the popsicle sticks are in the air. 2 more times around. The penultimate lap is on here at Watkins Glen.
6 seconds the advantage, 2 to go for the 32 of Matt Cox. An impressive run starting from the pits, methodically worked his way through the field. I think he tricked us a little bit, DJ. Played dead through the first 2 stages, really came on at the end with a blazing fast car and put everybody that we thought were contenders to rest.
Absolutely. We didn't think anything about him in the first stage, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, turning the fastest lap on like 13-lap old tires. Matt Cox surprising all of us here as he hits the bus stop. Wortman still trying to close in, but not enough. Cox through the bus stop and then down into the carousel for the second to last time. Still in the lead, about 6.4 seconds ahead of Tim Wortman Jr. Again, no other battles going on the track right now. Biggest mover so far has been Kevin Ruff. After that pit stop, he's made his way back up in the 7th spot, so an amazing recovery for Kevin Ruff as Matt Cox comes through turn 7 and turn 8. He's going to take the white flag this time by, Jeremy.
Final time across the start-finish line this time for the white, that is, but he'll take that. Got 7 more turns, 8 more turns, 12 more turns. Doesn't matter how you want to look at it here. Always a big debate, but League Gaming 1 to go here for Matt Cox through turn 1 smooth. See, he's barely even using that curve. Gonna gently glide across it up into the S's. Just not taking any risk right now in the 32.
League Gaming sponsoring the white flag lap here. We appreciate them. Matt Cox now for the final time down the straightaway into the bus stop. He's got to get through here clean. Cannot bounce it up, cannot spin. Very easily through there. Matt Cox, perfect entrance, perfect exit. You can see how slow he was going through there to make sure nothing happened through the carousel for the final time. Wortman trying to close in, now 5.8 seconds back. Wortman closing fast, not enough time as he heads down the back straightaway. Matt Cox, the number 32, the Bears machine, making Mike Ditka proud. He is going to take the final time into turn 7 and through turn 8. Wortman still trying to close, but it's not going to be enough. Through the final corner for the final time after 82 laps and surprising us in stage 2. Matt Cox takes the win here at Watkins Glen. Congratulations to the entire 32 team in dominating fashion in the final stage. He's going to take the win. Tim Wortman Jr. going to come home in the 2nd spot. 3rd spot going to go to Jeffrey Taylor after the black flag on pit road after the incident with Shane Wyatt in the bus stop and the damage on the front end. A nice rebound to 3rd position. 4th place, the surprise of the night, Corey Moore out of nowhere with his father spotting for him in the chat, takes home the 4th position, and rounding out the top 5 is going to be Sean Rogers.
Good runs from many of these drivers right here. Paul Gallimore, P6, good run for him. Some needed points. Kevin Ruff, P7, some damage on that car. He did a good job coming home with a good finish.
There's Barry Sanders now coming out of the final corner after that wreck that seemed to last forever going into the S's. He's going to take the 8th spot. Chris Davis, after trying to save fuel, realizing it wasn't going to work, he had to pit. He's going to come home in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is going to be the one and only Wayne Chiat. And can't give a shout out enough to Jose Medina. What a run, kind of new to iRacing. Guess what? He gained 12 spots here tonight. He's going to finish 1 lap down, but he's going to finish in the 11th spot. A great run for Jose Medina. Nigel Christensen in 12th and Alex Coffey in 13th. But the winner tonight, Matt Cox. Where is he going?
He's in the boot.
Matt Cox is in the boot.
And we saw him get lost trying to go to victory lane earlier this season at Bristol. I think this was by choice, but it was quite funny there. He kept hitting barriers, trying to find in victory lane there, but he just towed it off the boot, so he is done celebrating.
He did. He towed it off the boot. Matt Cox is your winner here tonight. Well, we appreciate everyone watching. Stick around. We're going to come back with results and interviews with your top 3. Appreciate everyone here tonight for watching. Stand by. You're watching the Moonshiners Racing League for their coverage of the OB Builders Cup Series for the Victory Designs 200 at the Glen. Congratulations to Matt Cox, your winner. We'll be right back to talk with them and go through your finishing order.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Watkins Glen International for your coverage of the Moonshiners Racing League and their OB Build Cup Series. Let's go through the finishing results here tonight after Matt Cox takes the win in dominating fashion. Matt Cox is your winner. Like I said, behind him, Tim Gorman, great run. He's going to finish 6.7 seconds back. Jeffrey Taylor, nice rebound into 3rd. Corey Moore, the surprise run of the night. He's going to finish in 4th. And Sean Rogers with a good rebound in 5th. Paul Gallimore, after getting involved in that lap 1, turn 1 incident, he's going to be in 6th. Kevin Ruff, again, with a great recovery into 7th. Barry Sanders holds on to the 8th place. Chris Davis in 9th. And Shane Wyatt, a good rebound as well, into the 10th position.
Coming home in 11th here tonight was Jose Medina in the 48, 1 lap down, but a good run for him. Nigel Christensen, P12. Coffey was a contender all day, came home in 13th after some issues. After that, all these drivers had major issues throughout the evening. Aaron Matthews, Blaine Wilson, Nick King, Kyle Holden, Ryan Huff, Caden Norfree, and Tim Harper in 20th.
21st is going to go to Warren Young. Johnny Shade, after the start and park, is going to be in the 22nd position. Kenny Coppola, start and park as well in 23rd. And Brandon Bikey was gracing us with his presence in YouTube chat after he parked it, is going to finish 4th spot. So that's your results. We're going to go ahead and get some interviews with the drivers here tonight. And we're going to start with the winner, and that is Matt Cox. Jeremy, you've caught up with the winner here tonight, Matt Cox. What's he got to say?
Matt, we saw you laying low throughout the first 2 stages, coming on strong at the end. Were you just playing possum tonight with him?
I mean, before talking about the race, I definitely want to give condolences to the family and friends of Jamison Middlemiss. He's been a fixture in the league for a very long time, and unfortunately this week we learned that he has recently passed. So thoughts and prayers to those family members and friends. Definitely will be missed. Jamison was a really good dude. But yeah, for the race was really just kind of hanging out for most of it. I kind of knew what strategy I was going to play for the whole race, and when we got up front, then it's time to go. So that's kind of the way we played it, and it worked out. So happy to have it. Never thought I'd win a road course.
Yeah, obviously racing in remembrance of Jameson Middlemiss from here until the end of the season, and you're the first winner with that going on. So obviously a bit somber here today, but you did a great job out there. The final stage was just so impressive. Older tires after you stayed out at the end of the second stage, you went out and ran the fastest laps of the race. Just did you know you had that much long run pace, or did that even surprise you a little?
No, if you were to watch me at all in the second stage, I was really milking it. I was probably running two seconds off, maybe more. Just really trying to conserve the tires and prep for a really strong start to stage 3. And then once we got there, we just kind of let it rip and we're running some burners. So yeah, strategy worked out. Happy to have it. Happy to win at a road course.
Yeah, definitely a great run and good win at road course. But moving next week to a short track, Richmond, a little bit unconventional compared to some of the other short tracks we had to throughout the season. How are you feeling about your chances there? High tire track, we always knew you do a great job saving your tires on the long runs.
Yeah, it's a lot like Iowa, which I won last week. So I really like Iowa. I like Richmond. I think I won there last year in this league. I'm not 100% sure if that's right, but I'll probably be pretty competitive there. I'm never going to discount any of these other guys. Everybody's pretty quick in this league, but we'll definitely be giving them hell.
Well, we look forward to seeing you on the track again, and congratulations on another great victory, Matt.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
That was your winner, Matt Cox, here tonight at Watkins Glen. We're going to go ahead and get our second place finisher up here. That is Tim Portman Jr. Tim, again here tonight, another bridesmaid finish, but you are nothing but consistent, my friend. Tell us about that race and what could you have done different to try to battle Matt Cox there at the end?
I had a strategy that I wanted to do, and I flipped the stage, and I thought, I'm just gonna come in, take a splash of fuel. I didn't need much fuel, 3 or 5 gallons to finish off the final stage. I got that clean track in front of me and was running, and next thing I know, these guys are putting down 1.5, 2 second lap faster times than me. And so the longer I stayed out, the more I decided it was time to just come in and take tires and deal with whatever the repercussions from my staying out were. So maybe I pit 4 or 5 laps earlier. I don't know. Matt gets on and runs a lot more than I do, and it shows he has the strategy all mapped out. I'm sitting there whenever everybody pit at the end of the second stage, wondering why he's still out there. Because I was wanting to control the restart, and just shows that he knew a little bit more than me tonight. So congrats to him. I was trying to run him down, but it just didn't happen.
Oh, this is why we play the game, and like I said earlier, you've been nothing but consistent. You officially haven't locked yourself in just yet, but unofficially you're pretty much locked in with the consistency you had on points throughout the race this season. Next week we're going to Richmond, and then we end at Daytona for the final race of the regular season. What's the strategy going into those final 2 races, and what do you think about Richmond next week?
I didn't turn any laps until 4 o'clock today, and maybe I'll get on it as long as work allows. I'll get in and do a little bit more for Richmond. I think as a team we run really good at Daytona, so we got that covered. It's just since this streak that's been going on, quietly the team knew that we had all lost Jameson, and it's been tough being this close to a win, trying to get one for him.
Yeah, definitely. And Tim, know that you're really tight-knit group, and that you guys are going to do everything you can to try to get that win for Jameson, and then move on to run for the championship here at the end of the event. Any final thoughts that you have here, and anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Just Jameson again, man. Every night in Discord, I finish second. He'd be sitting there telling me I'm gonna get it. He goes, "You're gonna get one." So I know he's proud of the team tonight. So we'll get him next week.
That's right. That's right. Congratulations, Tim, on your second place finish. And we look forward to seeing you next week at Richmond, all wrapped up and ready to go. Congrats again.
Thanks, guys.
Tim Warman Jr. there in the second place finishing order. And we're going to kick it down to Jeremy, who has caught up with the third place runner. That is Jeffrey.
Well, Jeffrey, we talked to you a little bit earlier. When you won the first stage, was looking really good then, but at the end of the second stage, I think we saw some speeding on pit road and then came back down to top off. That penalty completely derail your race, or do you think you had another shot at it?
I don't know if I had another shot at it or not. I mean, I was trying to beat Alex off pit road, and in hindsight, it didn't really matter. I could have just maybe tried to short pit him and get the lead, and I just screwed up. I'll beat myself up over that one for a while. I mean, it just barely.
Yeah, it was unfortunate speeding penalty there. Still a great finish though. P3 came all the way back. Some damage on the nose of the car. We saw an incident there with Barry Sanders. Obviously was really punching on the front. How much damage was it, and how much did it affect the handling of your race car over the course of the rest of that race?
It was significant because when you come up through the S's, the downforce is so crucial. It was just plowing until we got towards the end of the run and the tires wore in. Then it was okay then, but when early in the run, when it was really fast, it was absolutely plowing. That was unfortunate. I don't know. I might could have gained run with Tim a little bit more. It might have been closer. I doubt it, but I don't think it was enough there, even without the damage, to be able to make up the difference. Not 12, 13 seconds, whatever it was.
Yeah, we saw Matt really come out of nowhere with that speed in the final stage. Obviously, your teammate there at BMP, but don't know if you're running the exact same setup as him or something a little bit different, but he really had it figured out. How much work goes into it as a group there, really, to get you guys up to speed and running this good at a road course? I know Watkins Glen can be so difficult and tricky for many drivers, but you guys seem to have it figured out pretty much across the board as an organization today.
Yeah, me and Matt both are on the Ryko car, so we I think we even run the same set that tonight, but I'm not positive on that. You know, the strategy worked for him because he just played it safe. He kind of was committed to that strategy because he decided to start in the pits because there's always wrecks at the beginning, and it worked out for him that way. I don't know. I mean, I think I still would have had a shot to beat him had I not sped on pit road and had better track position, because it's just like the super speedways, or I'm sorry, the speedways. The cars here are so aero dependent. It's really hard to pass. And you see me get behind Alex, excuse me. And when I was behind Alex, it was just so hard to pass him. I was running faster lap times. You catch right back up to him, but you can't get around him. The having the lead is very difficult to if somebody's got the lead on you, it's hard to get around them. It just flat out is, especially on new tires. When it wears in, it's a little bit more because you can kind of push the guy a little bit more than he wants to sometimes and get him off his line. But yeah, it was critical how bad how much aero mattered there.
Yeah, we definitely saw the clean air really benefiting Coffee when he's in front of you. Really good battle, though, really entertaining to watch. So put on a great show out there. But moving next week into Richmond, who all gets it done for you at BMP, and how are you guys looking going into that racetrack?
I haven't run much there this week. I've run some practice laps, but car feels great already. What I have run, I need to get some more time in. I've been running so much Watkins Glen over the last week that I hadn't really put any time into Richmond to mount anything. So, I was great at Iowa. Circumstances got in my way at Iowa, and I feel like I'll have just as good a chance at Richmond, to be honest with you.
Well, definitely congratulations on a strong finish. We look forward to seeing you run pretty strong next week at Richmond, hopefully, Jeffrey.
Yeah, and I want to, give a shout out. Hearts are heavy. Missing Jameson Middlemas, that was a punch to the gut. He was such a good guy, and I guess we have to dedicate this one to him, regardless. This one, it hurts. It does hurt.
Yeah, we definitely all have been feeling that over here, and we'll continue to do so throughout the rest of the season. Thanks very much, Jeffrey.
Yep. Thank you.
Well, DJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oops, sorry. I was gonna say, well, DJ wraps up the interviews. Obviously, a lot harder to get through than usual. Everybody missing a good friend to everybody here. So, but next week in Richmond, we'll hope to provide some more entertainment and get the emotions back up onto a positive note. And moving forward, though, we'll just continue to remember our friend Jameson.
Yeah, and moving into Richmond next week, that's going to be August 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time start time here on Ballin' TV. We appreciate everybody watching here tonight as you get an overhead view of Richmond getting all ready to go for the penultimate run for the Moonshiners Racing League in their regular season. And after that, we head on to the final at Daytona. That is, again, next week, August 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Jeremy, as we close out here, any final thoughts from the race here tonight and moving forward?
Yeah, it was a good show. I mean, Matt Cox definitely just put the whooping to him there in the final stage in 32, so impressive win there. Congratulations to him, of course, for getting that done in that Bears car. I know he doesn't have too fond of memories of playing me Madden with those Bears in the Super Bowl, but that's okay. He's going to move forward, and I think he cares a little bit more about getting the win out here at Watkins Glen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Congratulations here tonight. Well, for the final time here at Watkins Glen, I'm DJ Line, the host and producer show, alongside was Jeremy Miller. This was the Victory Designs 200 at the Glen. Thank you again for watching the Moonshiners Racing League for presentation of their OV Builders Cup Series and tonight's running of the Victory Designs 200 at the Glen. We appreciate everybody. We remember Jameson, and we dedicate everything to him for the rest of the season. Thank you again for everyone being here tonight. We'll see you next time.